On this Sunday, March the 15th, 2026, the most powerful storm system of the season is delivering a simultaneous assault of blizzards, tornadoes, damaging winds, and ice across the United States right now. Blizzard warnings are in effect from South Dakota through southern Minnesota as heavy snow bands have been dumping for hours. Minneapolis is looking at 18 to 20 inches. Green Bay could see 2 feet. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is targeting 3 feet or more, with isolated totals approaching 4 feet from the combination of the snow bomb and lake enhancement. At the same time, severe weather is exploding from Florida to the northeast with significant tornado risk, cells pulling north from the Gulf and Atlantic, and a windstorm bringing hurricane-force gusts across the central and eastern U.S. The Clipper that came through Friday knocked out power to 1.2 million homes, and nearly a million are still without electricity this morning. Now, a second and far stronger windstorm is about to hit on top of that. And this is not the end. Monday brings a 30% severe weather risk with significant tornado potential along the entire East Coast. Let me break all of this down. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. First, the power situation. The Friday Clipper delivered wind gusts of 50 to 80 miles per hour and knocked out power to 1.2 million homes across multiple states. As of this morning, just below 1 million remain without electricity. Ohio leads at 352,000 outages. Pennsylvania has 257,000. Hawaii, which is dealing with its own flooding disaster, has 134,000. Michigan has 120,000. Washington 25,000. Wisconsin 21,000, West Virginia 14,000, Indiana 13,000. A new round of damaging winds today will push those numbers higher, and the ice expected across northern Wisconsin and northern Michigan will cause additional outages. Hawaii is in crisis. A powerful storm system is driving flooding and high winds across the southern islands. Flood warnings are active with 8 to 10 more inches of rainfall possible through Monday. The storm is approaching from the worst direction for mountain interaction, which amplifies rainfall rates. This is on top of the 134,000 already without power. Now the snow bomb. Blizzard warnings are in effect across South Dakota and southern Minnesota, and those warnings will expand. The storm system underwent near bombogenesis as forecast, strengthening dramatically and pivoting toward the Great Lakes, where warm lake waters are supercharging snowfall. The ice on the Great Lakes melted earlier in the season, leaving warm water that enhances precipitation as cold air passes over the surface. This lake enhancement effect is why totals are reaching extreme levels. Here are the specific snow totals being forecast. Minneapolis is looking at 18 to 20 inches with heavy snow that has been falling for multiple hours. Southern Minnesota sees similar totals. The snow band tilts northeast from Minneapolis toward Green Bay, where 2 feet is expected. Northern Wisconsin sees 3 feet. Marquette and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan are targeting 3 feet or more, with isolated totals potentially reaching 3 to 4 feet. Milwaukee gets a major 6 to 7 inch snowfall. Cedar Rapids picks up 6 to 9 inches with a few inches across the rest of northern Iowa. Aberdeen, South Dakota sees a foot or more. The Dakotas and Nebraska see several inches. Higher elevations in Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado measure in feet. Further east, Chicago gets a few inches. Peoria and Springfield see 1 to 2 inches. Indiana gets an inch. Ohio sees a ½ inch to flurries with a couple inches in northeastern Ohio. Pittsburgh gets about an inch with heavier totals in far northern Pennsylvania. Buffalo and Syracuse see a few inches. West Virginia picks up a couple inches. The freezing rain line across the Green Bay area into northern Michigan could produce a ½ inch of ice or more, causing additional power outages in a region already reeling. This is a travel nightmare. Blizzard conditions with heavy snowfall rates and strong winds create whiteout conditions across the heavy snow zone. Travel will be nearly impossible from the Dakotas through Minnesota, Wisconsin, northern Michigan, and into the UP. Do not attempt to drive through this. Now the severe weather happening today. The SPC has significantly expanded the severe weather risk. A tornado risk with significant severe parameters extends from the deep south through the Ohio Valley and into the northeast. A 5% hatched area means strong tornadoes are possible. A 45% wind probability with significant severe indicators means hurricane-force wind gusts are expected. The threat stretches from Florida all the way to the northeast. The timing today works like this. This morning, multiple lines of storms are building. Strong storms are pushing through Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, with some of these cells pulling north. Any cell pulling northward from the Gulf or Atlantic has the potential for a quick tornado spin-up. By late morning Central Time, storms extend from northern Illinois into western Michigan with a line congealing from Illinois to Missouri. During the afternoon, the windstorm ramps up with 50 to 60 mile-per-hour gusts pushing from Wisconsin through Illinois, southeastern Missouri, and into Arkansas. The Tennessee Valley, Kentucky, and Ohio Valley face damaging winds as the system barrels through. By evening, the windstorm continues with QLCS tornado potential embedded in the line. The entire corridor from Michigan to Louisiana and into the Gulf is dealing with a massive windstorm, snow and freezing rain on the cold side, damaging winds and tornadoes on the warm side. This is the full expression of a dynamic March storm system. Monday is the next major threat day. The SPC has a 30% risk area with significant severe indicators for strong tornadoes and hurricane-force winds. Cells from the south pulling up along the east coast heighten the tornado risk from the mid-Atlantic through the northeast. Significant tornado parameters are elevated Monday morning through evening along the eastern seaboard. This is a long-duration event. The windstorm from Michigan to the Gulf continues into Monday with more power outages expected. Snow could transition into portions of the Tennessee Valley, Kentucky, and Ohio Valley, with an inch or two possible. Behind this entire system, the cold blast arrives as forecast. Monday morning brings freezing temperatures surging south with wind chills of -10 to -20 degrees from northern Missouri through Minnesota. Tuesday pushes the freezing line deeper toward the deep south with Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia seeing freezing temperatures. Wednesday, the cold continues east. Temperatures run 20 to 30 degrees below normal through midweek. Wind chills reach into northern Florida. This is the dramatic reversal from the 80-degree heat that was fueling severe weather just days ago. After the cold exits, a heat dome builds across the west from roughly March 21st through the 22nd. Phoenix, Las Vegas, Sacramento, and San Jose could set all-time March high temperature records. This has the potential to be the earliest 100-degree temperature on record for some desert southwest locations, with readings 15 to 30 degrees above normal. But here is the critical long-range signal. This is not the last cold blast. The Arctic Oscillation is dipping again. The North Atlantic Oscillation shows a blocking pattern developing in the Atlantic that allows cold air to funnel south into the eastern United States. A sudden stratospheric warming event earlier this year split the polar vortex in two. This is driving repeated cold air intrusions. Another cold blast with more snowstorms and severe weather is forecast for the end of March and possibly continuing into April. Now the special predictions by region. For the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, blizzard conditions today and tonight. Minneapolis, 18 to 20 inches. Milwaukee, 6 to 7 inches. Green Bay, 2 feet plus a quarter inch of ice. Marquette and UP, Michigan, 3 to 4 feet. Lake enhancement continues for days. Travel impossible in the blizzard zone. For Minneapolis, this is a historic March snowfall. For Green Bay, the combination of 2 feet of snow and ice will be devastating. Power outages will mount. For Detroit and Lower Michigan, 1 to 2 inches of snow with Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo similar. For the Midwest, Chicago gets a few inches of snow. Peoria and Springfield see 1 to 2 inches. Iowa sees several inches with Cedar Rapids reaching 6 to 9 inches in the Northeast. The windstorm today with 50 to 60 mile-per-hour gusts adds to outage concerns. Indiana gets an inch of snow. The cold blast drops temperatures dramatically by Tuesday with wind chills well below zero across the region. For the Ohio Valley, damaging winds today from the Tennessee Valley through Kentucky and Ohio. 352,000 in Ohio still without power from Friday. More outages likely today. Columbus and Cincinnati see flurries to a half inch. Northeastern Ohio, a couple inches. The cold arrives Monday and Tuesday with temperatures crashing 20 to 30 degrees below normal. For Pittsburgh, an inch of snow with heavier totals in far northern Pennsylvania. For the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, Monday is the biggest severe weather day. The 30% risk extends along the East Coast with significant tornado potential and hurricane-force winds. Cells pulling north from the Gulf and Atlantic create tornado risk from the Mid-Atlantic to the Northeast. For New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, and D.C., the Monday severe threat is real with QLCS tornadoes and damaging winds possible. Snow in the mountains. Buffalo and Syracuse see a few inches. The cold blast arrives midweek with temperatures plunging from the 60s to the 30s. For the deep south and southeast, severe weather today with storms across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Tornado spin-ups possible from cells pulling north. The windstorm pushes damaging gusts to the Gulf Coast. Tuesday and Wednesday bring freezing temperatures to Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Wind chills reach northern Florida. Nashville and Memphis face damaging winds today, then freezing temps. For the southern plains, the windstorm impacts the region today. Critical fire weather conditions were flagged for yesterday and today. The cold blast drops wind chills into the 20s across Texas. The GFS and Canadian models both show cold reaching deep into Texas. For the West, the heat dome builds by March 21st to 22nd. Phoenix, Las Vegas, Sacramento, and San Jose targeting all-time March records. Potential earliest 100-degree reading ever for some locations. Mountain snow continues in the Rockies with higher elevations measuring in feet. Avalanche danger remains high. For Hawaii, flood warnings active. 8 to 10 more inches of rain through Monday. 134,000 without power. Southern Islands hardest hit. This is a separate but serious disaster. The bottom line. The most powerful storm of the season is in full swing. Blizzards dropping 2 to 4 feet in the Great Lakes. Severe weather with tornadoes from Florida to the northeast. Nearly 1 million homes still without power with more outages coming. Monday brings a 30% severe risk with strong tornadoes along the East Coast. Then, a cold blast drops temperatures 20 to 30 degrees below normal to the deep south. A heat dome brings potential record-breaking 100 degrees to the desert southwest by the 21st. And another cold blast is already being signaled for the end of March. This pattern is relentless. Stay safe.